I want to share with you a story that I read a long time ago, and more recently, actually, I read it again. I'm trying very hard to get people to understand what it is I'm trying to say. And thankfully, there are people who have come before me who have really opened up an understanding of the Spirit. I have told you we are all God. I have told you this. You are so indoctrinated by this world, and you are so pressed down that you don't understand what it is I'm saying. And you call it blasphemy. It's not. It's not. There was a man who wrote several books, and he was more popular back in the 70s, back when people started getting into what's now called the New Age movement. His name is Richard Bach. He wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Now, most of what he has written is very, very easy to read. Matter of fact, I have even given my son, at 10 years old, a copy I had of Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and he read it, and he understood it. Most of his books you can sit down and read in an hour or two. This is a very short story that I'd like to tell you, and it epitomizes, really, my message that I'm trying to convey to you folks. Look, I don't want to get angry with you, but the thing is, I go on to your YouTube channels and I make statements of fact, and you want to jump down my throat because you are so deluded. You are so indoctrinated by the powers that be. Folks, we are so much more than what you have been told you are. Let me read this little story to you before I start ranting. It is from a book by Bach called Illusions. I read this, back in the 80s, years ago. The title of this little story is Letting Go. Once there lived a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. The current of the river swept silently over them all, young and old, rich and poor, good and evil. The current going its own way, knowing only its own crystal self. Each creature, in its own manner, clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom, for clinging was their way of life, and resisting the current was what each had learned from birth. But one creature said at last, "I am tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it's going. I shall let go, and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall die of boredom." The other creatures laughed and said, "Fool! Let go, and that current you worship will throw you tumbled and smashed against the rocks, and you will die quicker than boredom." But the one heeded them not, and taking a breath did let go, and at once was tumbled and smashed by the current across the rocks. Yet in time, as the creature refused to cling again, the current lifted him free from the bottom, and he was bruised and hurt no more. And the creatures downstream, to whom he was a stranger, cried, "See, a miracle! A creature like ourselves, yet he flies! See the Messiah, come to save us all!" And the one carried in the current said, "I am no more Messiah than you. The river delights to lift us free, if only we dare to let go. Our true work is this voyage, this adventure." But they cried the more, "Savior!" all the while clinging to the rocks. And when they looked again, he was gone, and they were left alone, making legends of a Savior. I do not claim to be anything I'm not. I am not your Savior. I am not the Christ. We are all God, folks. All we have to do is let go of the rocks that we are clinging to. I learned to do that. I wasn't looking for this. I wasn't looking to be a teacher, a Buddha, a Bodhisattva. I didn't consider this as my future. I really didn't. I go on your YouTube channels and I try so desperately to teach you. I do. What you are ignoring is not who I am, because I don't care who I am. I don't have an ego. What you are ignoring is who you are. Your full potential, folks. You can continue to believe this lie that you are spoon-fed from a child. You're nothing. You're nobody. God is everything. Worship Him. Get down on your hands and knees. Prostrate yourself. Prostrate yourself before Him. Get your head down on the ground. You worshippers of Jehovah, Yahweh. You are nothing but worshippers of me, God. That is a lie. The very fabric of this universe, the very fabric of being, is who and what we are. We are not saviors. We are not Christ. But what we are is so eloquently displayed in this little story, this very little story out of a book by a man more spiritual, more brilliant than I could ever hope to be, Mr. Bach, Richard Bach. In this simple story, it is conveyed to you who we truly are. Keep clinging to the rock. Keep clinging to the rock, and you will never know who you are. Let go. Let go. And your full potential will be realized. Folks, I am only here to try to teach this simple lesson. Anything I say, all comes back to a simple understanding. We are not slaves. We are not worshippers. We are part of the one. And if you want to call that one universal mind, if you want to call that one God, it is who we are. Stop believing in their lies. The government, the church. Stop believing their lies. And you truly will be set free.